In this last module of luxury sustainability, we integrate also the family businesses and the business model that they can create an advantage with family business, of course, in pursuing a concept of sustainability that is complete and integrated. When we talk about family business, we do not intend necessarily a super small business, but business that are run with a family that sometimes also have the presence of employee and managers inside, but where there is a clear ownership and where it is possible of have a long-term perspective, a longer-term perspective. This is the typical Italian situation. Of course, in Italy there are a lot of family business, some too small, many too small, basically very small business. So in Italy we associate most of the time the concept with small business with family business, but not necessarily is that. Because there could be some family business with an owner, with generation that not necessarily are small business. There are in Italy like Luxottica, like Illy Cafe, like many others. But let's start to see what is the element that this designer of this type of luxury organization could do to integrate this model in concrete. So they can think like Orange Fiber of innovative material and process, innovated the product design, the services associated with the product. A lot of company and many Italian have associated the luxury of an offer with just the product and not with the service. So the service has an advantage that is more related with the client. So you can innovate manufacturing technique, business model, and most important, the fifth point, cultures. Innovate and bring not just a product, but a whole culture approach into the business. In other words, it means design better products, utilize local resources. These local resources doesn't mean only natural resources, but also cultural resources. Advance innovation, increase longevity, increase the durability of product with innovating techniques, but not just innovating materials. Innovation is in every part of the business model. So not just in the innovation of materials. Of course, a part of this cultural movement is to connect, is to talk, is to partner with organizations that in the past were considered very distant from luxury, high fashion, luxury type of product. And so there are like these organizations that are mostly NGOs that promote fair trade, organizations that promote, the use of organic materials, and basically the combination between these organization and the company, they can, produce innovation in the whole offer, not just in the material of some products. So this means also referring to organizations like the UN, the WTO, that they create like ethical fashion initiatives. So this is a program that basically works with network of artisans. So that is important thing to understand. Lot of small business, family business, they can get together, create network, get together with these global institutions like the UN and others, and they can really obtain different results. So this is, for instance, a list of the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations Framework Conventions of a few years ago. You see, goals are all in the use of resources, sustainable consumption, but also talks about promote peaceful and inclusive society from sustainable development, access to justice, accountable inclusive institutions. We talk about society, so not just a product, but a product has to be the sort of leveraged for promoting something that way goes beyond the product. So basically, we are talking about a new model of leadership, a group of artisans getting together, connecting with a global institution, can really develop a new type of global leadership. How? Promoting and facilitating change and cross-cultural innovation, a new way of collaborating within teams that are teams made of people with different backgrounds, with different skills, and of course innovating culture. So a new way of innovating culture in this area, in which there is on one side globalization, in the other side there is the strengthening of its own original roots, national roots. An example of this is a company that I mentioned before, that is Ili Cafe. I mentioned as the family business, but of course not of small dimensions. A company that from its starts, actually way before these concepts of social responsibility became so popular, they started to care so much about all these stakeholders. So, of course, you see the shareholders who had the stock, but the community, suppliers, the worker, the clients, and the consumer. Who are the clients? What's the difference between clients and consumers? The clients are their distributors, basically the bars and the coffee place that use Ili Cafe, or the store. And the consumers instead are the customers who actually drink Ili Cafe. That who has been in Italy has had the chance to distinguish the quality of Ili Cafe from all the other. Of course, they cost a bit more, but just a premium price, not an incredible amount of money, but just a premium price. Because they have a balance, and from the start they have an idea that we care about consumers, the end user, the distributors, the suppliers, the people who work for them, and the community in a broader sense, the state, the complete local community. First of all, the region where they are, and after the country in which they operate, that is Italy. Let's try to summarize overall this role of family business, which could be the driver, or which they are already the success driver. Here there are 5 success drivers that has been summarized. Corporate heritage preservation, long-term vision, specialization, innovativeness, and relationship. Let's analyze them one by one. Corporate heritage. This is an element that, of course, the family business has, because they care so much about the reputation, because they have generation and generation, and they have been always combined so much and integrated in society that the reputation has been so much important. We're not talking about the reputation of the client, but the reputation of the whole community, the trust the community have for them, the values, the authenticity, the prestige. This is all element associated with this. Another element is the long-term vision. We have discussed about this in other module, but once again, it's because these companies, they have a long term in the product. The balsamic vinegar companies in Italy, that they have to wait sometimes 100 of years before the product is sold. Of course, the generation who starts this product, it's not the generation that will sell it, because basically it's true, there are some balsamic vinegar that has to, in order to get the best product, to wait maybe not 100 but 50. There are 100 but few, but many, they are like 20, 30, 50 years. And so, of course, there is a handover of generation, there is a very smart choice of investment and conditions that last the company operate through generation in a very, very long term. Another area is specialization. Specialization is because the history and allow the fact that there is a tradition in reaching level of performance in a specific area, and the specialization is given by all the combination of natural resources present in the area, expertise and skills developed in the area, and ability also of management to understand the workers that are skilled to do certain production, certain type of product development. So all this combination is the specialization. And the relationship that is connected, another element, the relationship of this family business, the relationship that makes family business increase their value and increase their success, is the fact that they have last relationship with whom? With all kind of partners, with suppliers. This helps the speed of the production process. When people know each other, they just need a little bit, just a very quick interaction in order to solve problems. That, of course, speeds up the process of decision making. They can better resource sharing. They are not afraid that somebody steal the know-how because there is a story of relationship. So basically they can share with other partner resource without the worries that a lot of company has to have problems with the partners of stealing know-hows and similar problems. So this is not present. And the last, innovativeness. So with all these elements, really, and with a critical dimension that should not be so small, that is the problem of a lot of family business, they are too small to perform all this. This could be the really value added that some family business, many present in Italy, but not only in other places of the world, they can really compete in the future more and more successfully than now. The innovativeness, of course, is the fact that this is the combination between tradition and innovation. Keep the tradition, but have this balance between one side, what has been done so far, what has been innovated, without changing too much and without changing too little. Think about commercial aspects like go online, increase the online presence, and in the same time keep the production as a tradition. So this is the typical economic benefits and positive perception by the consumers. All this, that some of this category that seems impossible to combine, now they can be combined. You will see that in the promotion on many Italian brands, you really frequently see these two words, tradition and innovation. But there are not all the company able to combine tradition and innovation in a correct way, and the one that will be able to do it will be the one that will be most successful.